Alright guys, and welcome back once again to a review of a puzzle made from Rubik's. Now this is probably a puzzle you have never seen before. I'm sure you've seen things that look like this, where you have to slide tiles to make a pattern on the board. But besides that, I'm sure you have never seen that from Rubik's. You didn't even knew that existed. I didn't knew it existed before I saw it, so I had to buy it. And basically, this is a puzzle made from Rubik's that is called the Rubik's Race, just like this. And it's a two-player game, so that's, I think, the first time Rubik's have made a game board that's for two players. Or usually you're just using this and you're probably playing alone. You can't really solve that with two persons because, yeah, you get the point. Alright, so first, this is not there just floating around. It needs to go on that. You're just going to use that and place it in the middle part, just like this. And then you have to figure out a simple way to bring these two sides together, just like that. So this is where it goes, and it can fold on both sides like that. Now, obviously there is a player on each side of the board, and this is not placed correctly. There we go. Alright, so there is a player on each side of the board. You have a board, the other one has a board, and we have this thing that kind of looks like the buggle thing with the dice in the middle with letters, but now it's colors. You have to shake it to mix it up, kind of like this, and now you have a pattern: yellow, orange, red, orange, blue, 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 white, orange. Now the goal is to replicate that pattern on your board, and you want to be the first one to solve it. If you're the first one, you have to bring that down, and this pattern here has to be matching this one, and it can be matching it like this, or like that, or like that. The orientation does not matter unless you're playing with your own customized rules. But yeah, if you're the first one to solve it, bring that down, show the pattern is the same, and you win. That's the goal. And obviously, you're going to solve it by sliding pieces around like this. And you can't cheat by taking a piece out and replacing it somewhere else like that. You can't do that. You have to play it by the rules, of course. So just like this, and you're going to try to replicate this pattern. Now, let's do kind of a review on that. I just explained how it works and what's the goal behind it, and now let's go over the review. So let's put that aside a little bit, like right here. And now, for the size. Well, obviously, it's not a cube nor a shape like whatever. It's a board. It's a game board. So you can't really compare its size to a normal 3x3. If you do, well, it's obviously bigger. That's not what I'm going to compare it to. So let's say I have, well, here, take the sheet of paper. It's a little bit longer than a sheet of paper. If I move the camera just like this, you see it goes over each side, but it's not as wide as a sheet of paper. As you can see, the sheet here goes further on each side. So yeah, it's about the same area of a sheet of paper. If you consider these pieces, you get the point. It's about the same size as a sheet of paper if you fold that down. Obviously, if you leave it up, well, it's kind of a pyramid shape. But yeah, let's now talk about, well, the size. Size, it's bigger than a 3x3. So yeah, but it's not really fair to compare it with a cubic puzzle. But whatever. Difficulty. Well, usually these puzzles, people kind of have a hard time to solve it. I do myself too have a hard time to solve sliding puzzles sometimes. Thing is, now you're using 5x5 boards, meaning 25 tiles, and you're trying to replicate this 9 tiles area here. So you have all this outer layer to spare. So you can use that to move pieces around easily. It doesn't matter what this looks like when you're having this center part solved, because when you fold that down, you don't even see the outer layer. you're only getting this middle picture here. So it's kind of easy to solve compared to if you would have only that without this corner and you're just trying to move around in the area here, but you have room to spare and to use to move pieces around. I believe it's made for a little bit younger population, meaning kids 5 to 10 or something. It needs to be fairly easy, otherwise the kids wouldn't like playing with it. So difficulty, it's not really difficult. I would say maybe a 3 on 10 because it's pretty easy to solve. And should you buy it? Well, as you can see, it's kind of floppy around. It's floppy here. It doesn't really stay in its place. If it does, it's always like falling onto one side, not being in the middle. If you remove it, it's pretty much a pain in the butt to place it back or to actually remove it. It's not the best way to have a game board set up. And also you have tons of tiny pieces. There we go, it's falling apart now. Let's just remove that part and keep these two together. So yeah, you have these tiny pieces which aren't really tiny, but they're still pretty small, and it's really easy to lose one. If you lose one, basically one side has 2 holes, the other one has 1. You can make it fair by removing 1 on each side, but then what's the point? Maybe you have like 4 blues here and you only have 3 on your game board. There is no point to removing 1 each to make it fair. You have to have all the pieces, and if you lose one, you're pretty much screwed. Also, this puzzle is kind of awkward to move around. So if I have this set up, let me just try to put it back the way it should go. There we go. Besides doing this, you can't really do much on how to make it more compact. So like this, these 9 pieces, these 24 pieces can be moved around like this. So that's a really bad way to it's actually a really good way to lose pieces, and you can't even fold it together for putting it aside. If you do, well, it doesn't do it. You really can't do it. It doesn't fold on itself, and even if it would, when you would go like this, well, these pieces would just come out, and then the other ones will just be sliding around. So that's a really awkward puzzle to have on a shelf or anywhere else. It's really just there, you're not using it. I actually never used it before. I've had it for a while now and I never used it. No one wants to play with me, and I don't even want to play with it. So should you buy it? I say no, a big no. Unless you really want to have everything Rubik's has ever made, yeah, buy it. But you probably will not play with it because it, I think, kind of sucks because, again, it's awkward to put somewhere because, well, you just have to leave it like this basically, or again, you could, I guess, leave it like this, or maybe turn that like on the other side on top of this, but again, you would go like this, all the pieces would come out. So it's a really, I think, not the best. It's not the best puzzle ever made. Plus, it's a 2-player puzzle. You're not always with someone if you want to play with it and you're alone. And then I guess you could time yourself and see how fast you can replicate that pattern, but otherwise, I don't think it's the best puzzle ever made. So I hope you guys enjoyed that review. Again, I say don't buy it unless you really want to. You now know what it does, how it acts and everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, go check out my Facebook page and my Twitter. And again, guys, thanks for watching and have a good day.